If you don't have any of these in your portfolio, then there's a very, very high chance that you're investing in the past and not the future. Hello, my name is Ola. In this video, I'll be telling you what sectors you should be exposed to in your investment portfolio to ensure that you're investing for the future. To give it some context, check it out. The top 30 high value US stocks has changed in the past 20 years, right? Drastically for that matter. 14 out of the 30 stocks were added in the past 20 years. What that means is that some companies that were topping the charts and were making all the money in 1999 are no longer that relevant or are no longer key in the stock market anymore. Now, when I talk about investing in the future, the question is the portfolio that you have right now. Are you investing in assets or in sectors that are thriving right now? Or are you investing in sectors that will thrive in the future? Another thing to understand is by exposure, I mean investing in their debt, in their public stocks, or in their private equity, right? But exposure means that you have an investment that you're expecting to get value from these companies in the future. The first exposure you should have in your investment portfolio is land. Land could be actual land, raw land, or it could be property that is already developed, right? Why? Because there's an expectation that in the next 100 years, the world's population is going to grow by 2 billion. What that means is that there's going to be demand for the basic necessities, food, shelter, clothing, right? There's going to be increased demand for that matter, not just consistent, but increased demand for food, shelter, and clothing. Food comes from the ground. Shelter, it's land. Clothing is also land. So you can see that if you are effective in your investments, like land will give you returns in the future. The question is where, how, all that. I did a piece on investing in property. You can check it out up here. It will pop up and I'll also drop in the description box, right? Check it out and broaden your mind about it, but you should have exposure to land. Apart from the fact that everyone has to eat, the truth about it is most things are clothes. A lot of things are drawn out of the raw materials from agriculture, right? So you need to have some exposure to agriculture in your portfolio. You can't just, and I mean a long-term exposure to agriculture, because there is going to be sure demand in that space. Now, you don't have to be exposed to agri, like the actual farming. There are a lot of things in the value chain. For example, if you say cocoa, you could be planting cocoa, you could be processing, you could be making chocolates. There's so many things in that value chain, right? But agriculture is key. You need to have some exposure to agriculture in one way, shape, or form to have an investment portfolio of the future. The third thing is to have exposure to some green energy investment. The truth about it is climate change is real. The demand for the world is moving away from oil and carbon sources of energy, and we're going into renewable sources of energy. So anything that is going to be giving you exposure to alternative energy sources, if it's in the use of alternative energy or in the actual creation or the process around it, meaning like solar panels, wind panels, all those sources, water, any of those, right? Any of those, you need to be exposed to it. The next thing, which is quite obvious, is fintech, right? Digital payment systems, card services, chips, all those things. The truth about it is that, fine, we expect that the traditional banking system will still be in existence based on regulation and all that. But I also do think that even the traditional banking system is going to evolve, right? Because the needs of the future will be different and the way things work will be different. And the companies and the banks that would thrive in the next 20 to 30 years are those that are able to evolve. So in the whole value chain of payments, because you always need payments to support trade, and trade is what makes money go round, and trade is what makes the world go round. So as we move into borderless banking, digital banking, payment systems, There are so many things in that value chain. My own personal strategy is to find the common thread. What is that thing that every fintech needs to survive? Find the companies that are providing that service and invest in them. Why? Because not all fintechs will thrive. Not all fintechs will survive. Not all fintechs winds might blow. But the guys that are providing some fundamental back end service for any new idea is a way to go. Think about it. I've given you a clear clue in this one statement. But then the idea is this: apart from looking at the front end, which is like the companies, the fintech that will do the ads, also find out what is supporting them. What are the services that are supporting them? That is part of the value chain, and plug yourself in there. Do not be caught sleeping, because tech is the future. In fact, tech is both now and the future. The final thing: identify companies that are using tech to solve basic human needs and invest in them. Now, when I say basic human needs, I'm plugging into the fact that there's an expectation of an increase in world population. Now, what are the things that people would surely need? For example, health, education, communication. Now, companies that are using tech to provide these services, the benefit of tech is scale. So companies that provide a solution that is obviously scalable, but it's a basic need. Basic need because basic needs are the ones that for sure will be needed in the future. You can't run away from some certain things, right? So companies that are providing public health using tech, companies that are sorting out logistics using tech, any of those things. If you find a company that is using technology to provide a highly needed solution, then that's a clue to a company that you should have in your portfolio. Why do I say that? Because tech is the clue to scaling. And scaling is where the money is, where you can hire 10 people and service 200,000 people. That's the clue. So while investing in government debt should be fine any day, governments are just what they are. They are always there, right? But you need to give yourself some license to blow by actually investing in things that are expected to up in value in the future. Now, I've given you like 5 clues that you could actually adjust your portfolio to. The question is, what does your portfolio look like right now? Can you drop it in the comment section? Are you actually investing in the past or investing in the future? Of course, if you're investing in the past, you still have time. You still have a whole life ahead of you. You need to change it. You need to be more intentional. Now, if you need support in the process of building your portfolio and actually investing, knowing where to start and all that, I have an investment club. You could check it out. The information is in the link in the description box. Check it out and you are free to sign up. We give real-time information. Apart from like this general trends and all, we actually do stock recommendations, investment opportunities, creating your plan, blah, 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 blah. So check it out. The most important thing you need to understand that investing is about learning and baby steps. And the most important thing you need to remember is that you can't outsource your health and your finances. You have to engage. Like, think about this conversation. Think about the thoughts that are popping up in your mind. You need to actually engage. You need to. Thank you so much and see you next week. Bye.